Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. जैवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की संवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की गौर प्रेमानंदी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये शृण्वतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयं तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतां नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावधातौ संकीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ जलधर शशिवर्णौ गोपवेशौ किशोरौ सहचरगणवृन्दै क्रीडमानौ व्रजेशौ नटवरजितवेशौ नीलपीताम्बराढ्यौ जगतजननहेतु रामकृष्णौ नतोऽस्मि श्यामानन्दहृदानन्दं वृन्दारण्यपुरन्दरं राधाभूषितवामाङ्गं नमामि श्यामसुन्दरम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 80, Text 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll start with 4. Śiras tu tasyobhaya-liṅgam ānamet. Tadeva yat paśyati tadhi cakṣuḥ. aṅgāni viṣṇor atha taj-janānāṁ. pādodakaṁ yāni bhajanti nityam. śiras tu tasyobhaya-liṅgam ānamet. तदेव यत् पश्यति तद्धि चक्षुः अङ्गानि विष्णोर् अथ तज्जनानाम् पादोदकं यानि भजन्ति नित्यम् शिरस्तु तस्योभयलिङ्गम् ānamet तदेव यत् पश्यति तद्धि चक्षुः अङ्गानि विष्णोर् अथ तज्जनानाम् पादोदकं यानि भजन्ति नित्यम् शिरस्तु तस्योभयलिङ्गम् ānamet तदेव यत् पश्यति तद्धि चक्षुः अङ्गानि विष्णोर् अथ तज्जनानाम् pādodakaṁ yāni bhajanti nityam. Śirastu tasyobhaya-liṅgam ānamet. Tadeva yat paśyati tadhi cakṣuḥ. aṅgāni viṣṇor atha taj-janānāṁ. pādodakaṁ yāni bhajanti nityam. Matajis. Śirastu tasyobhaya-liṅgam ānamet. Tadeva yat paśyati tadhi cakṣuḥ. aṅgāni viṣṇor atha taj-janānāṁ. pādodakaṁ yāni bhajanti nityam. Śirastu tasyobhaya-liṅgam ānamet. Tadeva yat paśyati tadhi cakṣuḥ. aṅgāni viṣṇor atha taj-janānāṁ. pādodakaṁ yāni bhajanti nityam. śiraḥ, head, 2, and tasya, of him, ubhaya, both, liṅgam, to the manifestations, ānamet, bows down, tat, that, eva, only, yat, which, paśyati, sees, tat, that, he, indeed, cakṣuḥ, eye, aṅgāni, limbs, viṣṇoḥ, of Lord Viṣṇu, atha, or, tat, his, janānām, of the devotees, pāda-udakam, the water which has washed the feet, yāni, which, bhajanti, honor, nityam, regularly. Translation: an actual head is one that bows down to the Lord in his manifestations among the moving and non-moving creatures. Real eyes are those that see only the Lord, and actual limbs are those which regularly honor the water that has bathed the Lord's feet or those of his devotees. There is no purport for this verse. We will go to the next one. I will say, please repeat after me. Suta uvacha viṣṇurātena samprishto Bhagavan Badarayanihi Vasudeve Bhagavati Nimagna Hrudayo Bravit. Sutta Goswami said, thus questioned by King Viṣṇurāta, the powerful sage Badarayani replied, his heart fully absorbed in the meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Shri Shuka uvacha Krishnasyasit sakha kaschit Brahmano brahmavittamah Dirakta indriyateshu Prashantatma jitendriyah. Shukadeva Goswami said, Lord Krishna had a certain Brahmana friend named Sudama, who was most learned in Vedic knowledge and detached from all sense enjoyment. Furthermore, his mind was peaceful and his senses subdued. Yadruchayopapannena vartamano gruhashrami tasya bharya kuchailasya Kshuच्छāma cha tadhavitha. One more time. Yadruchayopapannena vartamano gruhashrami tasya bharya kuchailasya kshuच्छāma cha tathavitha. Translation. Living as a householder, he maintained himself with whatever came of its own accord. The wife of that poorly dressed Brahmana suffered along with him and was emaciated from hunger. Om ajnānatimirandhasya jnānāṁ shalakaya cakṣuḥ tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. We are discussing. Yeah, correct. Yes. Purport. Sudama's chaste wife was also poorly dressed, and whatever food she obtained, she gave to her husband. Thus, she remained fatigued from hunger. So, this is the story of Sudama. There are many Sudamas. Definitely one in Vrindavan Leela, one in this Dwarka Leela, and also one in Mathura Leela. One in Mathura Leela. We know the Vrindavan Leela Sudama. Sometimes he is also called as Sridama, cowherd boyfriend of Krishna. Sudama, Sridama, same person. Some say they are different, some say same. And we know the Sudama in the Mathura Leela, that is the Malakara Sudama, one who is making garlands. And this Sudama is Krishna's childhood friend. Of course, they both studied together in Ujjain, and he was Brahmana, he was friend of Krishna. Krishna had such a thick friendship with him. Sudama is also one of the example. This particular Sudama is in Sakya Rasa. Srimad Bhagavatam in the beginning says, Kunti's prayers, Kunti Devi is saying, Namo akinchana vittaya nivrutta gunavruttaye atma ramaya shantaya kaivalya pataye namaham. When she is glorifying Krishna directly, face to face, she said, Namo akinchana vittaya. You are the vittaya, property of akinchanas. Who is akinchana? Akinchana means na kinchit iti akinchanaha. One who does not have anything, no money, no property, perhaps no clothes. They are wearing torn clothes. That is akinchana. One who is a great devotee, he is rich in devotion, poor in material situation. That person is akinchana. And Kunti Devi is saying, Namo akinchana vittaya. O Krishna, you are the property of akinchanas. Later she gives one more reason why. Janmaishvarya shrutashribhihi yedamana Madhav puman naivarhatya bidhatum vai tvam akinchana gocharam. One more reason Kunti Devi gave. Why? Because if somebody has janma, great birth, aishvarya, great opulence, shruta, great education, shri, great beauty or great situation. Janmaishvarya shrutashribhi yedamana Madhav puman. One becomes proud of those things. You are only seen by the akinchanas. But when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, there is stories of various devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, Srimad Bhagavatam has no poor people. The description, because Srimad Bhagavatam is the description of the great sages and description of great kings, especially from solar and lunar dynasty, where the Lord himself appeared. We won't find poor people in Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the first time probably a description of a poor man. It is said that Dronacharya is also poor, and he was also described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is not talking about Dronacharya's poverty. That is in Mahabharata. He is rich in Srimad Bhagavatam because he already took shelter of Bhishma and also became teacher of the Pandavas. And we search, we say many times simple living and high thinking. We have to be like Brajavasis amongst all of you. We are really thrilled to be here with all of you in your association. We came, some group of devotees from Hyderabad. And last few days we are here, almost 5 or 6 days now. And today we are leaving. This is such a wonderful, amazing, thrilling experience to be in Vrindavan, especially on Akshaya Tritiya. Yesterday we had wonderful darshan of Shri Shri Gaur Nitai, Radha Shyam Sundar, and also Krishna Balram. I have actually no words to describe the feelings and happiness. I am not qualified either by age or by initiation or by realization to sit here and speak to all of you. But whatever the opportunity given to me, I'll try to serve. So Kunti Devi, he's saying, you can only be seen by materially poor, spiritually rich devotees. And Sudama, this Sudama is a classic example. In fact, his name is not given here. That's why we see it is put in brackets, because in the text his name is not there. In South India, Sudama is not called by Sudama. For whatever reason, he is called by Kuchela, because that is a name mentioned here. You can see here is it is told that Kuchailasya. Kuchela means ku means bad or torn. Chaila means cloth. One who has torn clothes, that was his name, Kuchela. But a devotee, no matter whether it's Kuchela or Kubera, Kubera is the rich treasurer of the demigods, we all know. But his consciousness will not change. Pandavas are a great example for this. The Kunti Devi says that if great birth, great Aishwarya, and great education, and great beauty, it is given, people become puffed up, which is true. We have seen from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, Manigriva, Nalakuvara. They were good people, but they were proud, so they were punished. Not punished, they were blessed to take birth in Vrindavan. And finally, from here they went to their planet, and from there they couldn't stay and again get into sense gratification. They went to Damodar Kund in Muktinath, and they actually became gopis in their next life. So, Krishna's devotees, some of them have the opulences. Even this Brahmana, he has great birth. He didn't have Aishwarya, but he has great education. But he was not proud. So though they have these qualities, still they considered they are worthless. That is the consciousness. So they are akinchanas. Pandavas, one day they were made emperors of the whole world. Parikshit Maharaj was installed as an emperor, and before that also he was the king of Indraprastha, shared the kingdom with Duryodhana and party. One day they were begging in disguise in Ekachakra. And someday they were also in disguise in Virata kingdom doing some menial services. Draupadi was doing hairdressing and some of the Pandavas were taking care of horses and cows. So no matter whatever is the situation, they feel they are akinchanas, they are helpless. That's what Kunti is saying. Previously we had so many problems. You are with us. Now that you are installed Yudhishthira as king, you are going now. We will be bereft of you and your association. Let all those difficulties and calamities come again and again. No problem. But you will be with us because you are only seen by akinchanas. You are only felt by the akinchanas. Those who feel, I do not have anything. One devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, how to give up everything? Srila Prabhupada said that actually nothing belongs to you. The only thing you have to give up is that thinking that you have something with you. That's what you have to give up. Yeah. That is the consciousness of akinchana. And Sudama is like that. So he is called here, he is the great Brahmana, great friend of Krishna. See what Sudama was feeling. He was going back from Dwarka to his place. We don't know where that place is. It's not mentioned. He was remembering. Kvaham daridra papiyan, kwa Krishna sriniketanah, brahma bandhuriti smaham, bahubhyam parirambitaha. Who am I? Kvaham daridra papiyan. I am such a sinful papi. And daridra, I am such a poor person. I am daridra, I am a sinful person. Brahma bandhuriti smaha. I am not even qualified to be a Brahmana. Though he is an expert Vedic scholar. And you know what? We know that Krishna and Balram studied in Ujjain. Anyone knows how many days or months they were there in Ujjain? 64 days. They have learnt everything in 64 days. And same is the case with Sudama Vipra. Very short time he learnt. But he is telling, I am not even qualified to be a Brahmana. I am a Brahma Bandhu. Brahma Bandhu ritismaham. Who is Krishna? Kwa Krishna? Sriniketanah. He is the husband of Goddess of Fortune. And Brahma Bandhu ritismaham bahubhyam parirambitaha. He embraced me with his two hands. He is remembering the Krishna's embrace while going back to his place and considering himself as poor, sinful and not a worthy Brahmana. He says, I am a friend of a Brahmana, relative of Brahmana, but I cannot be a Brahmana. So that is the consciousness of Sudama Vipra. In fact, they didn't even have proper clothes. No other description of any other devotee in Srimad Bhagavatam is told like this, that they are wearing torn clothes. They don't even have clothes to wear. That too, in Krishna's time. There was other Brahmanas, they were said that they were not so well to do. Shrutadeva is one such Brahmana in Mithila. When Krishna went, at least he had some offerings to give it to Krishna. Of course, he was taken care by his king Bahulashva. I don't know where Sudama is staying, which kingdom. Maybe he is hiding himself, not accepting anything. And they didn't even have proper food. Not only proper clothes, they didn't even have proper food. And whatever is coming, yadruchaya chopapannena, on its own it comes. Someone comes to him and gives something, he accepts it. But he will not even go to beg. In fact, the only time they went and begged is when they wanted to give something to Krishna. That two moles of chipped rice, they begged. He told that I cannot, I want to see my friend. You want me to go there, but what can I take for him? So that is what it is. There's a verse in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is telling, who is dear to me, who is dear to me. Actually, from the second or third chapter, Krishna says, this person is dear to me, then that person is dear to me. And towards, in 12th chapter, Krishna builds the story that each person, Krishna is talking. And the next verse says that even a great person, he is more dear to Krishna. How it is. In one of the verses, I think maybe 19th verse, Krishna says, Tulyaninda stitir mauni santushto ena kenachit aniketaha stiramatihi bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Tulyaninda stitir mauni. One who is equipoised when somebody is scolding him or praising him. Tulyaninda stitihi. This is, we have seen this in the story of Avanti Brahmana. Of course, he was not poor by birth or later because all his property is taken by his family members, some thieves, some other people, he became poor. This is another such person like Sudama. Krishna only tells his story to Uddhava when Krishna is talking about tolerance. Coming back to the verse, Tulyanindha stitihi, one who is equipoised. Sudama was like that. Avanti Brahman is like that. Mauni, one who is silent. Prabhupada says one who is silent means one who's not speaking nonsense. One who speaks Krishna Katha all the time also, he is considered as Mauni. Tulyaninda stitir Mauni santushto ena kenachit. Whatever is obtained, one is happy with that situation. Santushto ena kenachit. Same thing is told here. Yadruchaya upapannena. Yadruchaya upapannena. Whatever is obtained, one is happy with that. Aniketaha, one who does not have fixed residence. Sudama and his wife, they did not even have a proper residence. Stiramatihi, no proper residence, but proper consciousness. Stiramatihi, fixed consciousness. No fixed residence, but fixed consciousness. Bhaktiman me priyo naraha. That person is very, very dear to me, extremely dear to me. Krishna is telling, Bhaktiman me priyo naraha. That person is very, very, very dear to me. So such is the greatness of Sudama. His wife is also equally good. She is also great devotee. Very chaste lady. And whatever they get, she is trying to feed husband and children. And she is fasting all the time, emaciated from hunger. Parikshit Maharaj, when he was hearing this katha, he is addressed here as Viṣṇurathena. He was also not taking anything from last 6 days. This is probably the 7th day, towards the end, 6th day, end of 6th day or 7th day, beginning. He didn't take anything. Not only those 7 days, actually he went some days before to the ashrama of Shamik Muni. And Shamik Muni couldn't receive Parikshit Maharaj. He was hungry and thirsty, Bhagavatam says at that time. From that time he didn't take anything. Because the moment he was leaving itself, he felt that I made a mistake. Then he went back to his kingdom, he was discussing what to do next. Then he comes to know that he will die in 7 days. He didn't take anything from that time. So, and he is telling also, I am not feeling hungry and thirsty in the beginning of 10th canto. The same devotee felt hungry and thirsty at least few days before, but now not. Why? Actually, he was not feeling hungry and thirsty at that time also. He was put in this situation so that all of us can sit and discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. It is for our sake that it will manifest in this world. He was put in that situation. He is called here as Viṣṇurathena. What is the meaning of Viṣṇuratha? Viṣṇorat means one who protected by Viṣṇu. Who is that? Parikshit Maharaj. Actually, Parikshit Maharaj was killed by the weapon of Brahmastra. Third canto, there is one verse, it is told that he was killed actually. Krishna gave another life to him. And when speaking, because there was a question asked by Parikshit Maharaj to Shukadeva Goswami. What was the question? Why was he saying that? How can anybody tolerate sense gratification and still be determined in Krishna consciousness? We are not talking about sense gratification means so many extra facilities. Basic food, shelter, and roti kapda makan. We say in India, roti means some prasadam, some roti. Kapda, clothes, they don't have clothes, and makan, house. All three are not there. Roti, kapda, makan for Sudama. So, how in that situation also one can be determined, focused in Krishna consciousness? He chose to tell Sudama's story as an example. Sudama's story is an example that how a great devotee of the Lord is there. We see this in the life of great devotees, even our own founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. He didn't have anything other than Srimad Bhagavatam when he was going to America in Jaladuta. Nobody to receive him, no one to accompany him. Of course, Lord Krishna is there in the heart as Paramatma, and the blessings of Srila Rupa Goswami and the previous Acharyas. He had heart attack. He was not taken care timely. He somehow sustained. In that situation, and Krishna only telling that I make my devotees poor, harishye taddanam shanai, to make their attachment fixed on me. But sometimes Krishna will do this for people who are fixed in Krishna consciousness also. Why would Krishna do that? He is doing that to showcase to the whole world that my pure devotees, even if there is no basic facility for them, still they will not give up devotional service. That is, Krishna wanted, through Pandavas, Krishna demonstrated, through Srila Prabhupada, Krishna demonstrated, through Sudama, Krishna demonstrated to everyone. Otherwise, how can there be any poor person in Krishna's kingdom, in Krishna's presence? Many times people say simple living thinking, high thinking, all Brajavasis are poor. No Brajavasi is ever poor. That time also, now also. Now also, of course, many of them get regular donations and dollars from all the devotees who visit. They are rich at the time also. In fact, Krishna's day after Krishna is born, they are splashing curd and milk upon each other to celebrate the joy. Brajavasis were simple living, but they were never poor. Generally, people think that simple living means poor. Simple living and poor, they're not synonymous. And they had so many jewels and so many abharanas and so many things. And many times, their clothes are described, their homes are described, and their other things are described. But Krishna's time also, if Avanti Brahmana was saying, it was not Krishna's time. Krishna told some story from some other time. But the only poor person is Sudama, is like Kolavecha Sridhar in the Chaitanya Leela. Krishna wanted to demonstrate to the whole world. Coming back to why here Parikshit Maharaj is called on Viṣṇorat. It is told here, Vasudeve Bhagavati Nimagna Hrudayo Abravit. He was, when Parikshit Maharaj asked this question, Sukadeva was moved by this question. And he was meditating. It is told, Nimagna Hrudaya. Acharya is saying, what did he meditate? What is he meditating? He is meditating on how wonderful is this personality Parikshit. How wonderful is that Krishna protected him at that time. See, the same Krishna who protected him in the womb of his mother, will he not protect him now? He will protect him now also. But Srimad Bhagavatam has to be spoken for all of us. That is why. So he is meditating, Sukadeva Goswami is meditating on this particular thing. Vasudeve Bhagavati Nimagna Hridayaha. He is meditating on that. Parikshit Maharaj is protected by Krishna and put in this situation only to give me an opportunity to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. He was meditating on that fact and he was moved. This particular verse, śiras tasyobhaya-liṅgam ānamet. What is the purpose of the head? The purpose of the head is to bow down. Bow down to whom? Tasyobhaya-liṅgam. It is told. Bows down to the manifestations of the Lord. Sometimes we see that some verse is not commented upon. But Srila Prabhupada chose not to comment on some verses because he's already commented upon them in word to word and translations. Of course, this particular purport is written by followers of Srila Prabhupada, Vidyananda Maharaj and Gopi Parandan Prabhu, based on Gopi Parandan Prabhu's translations. But Srila Prabhupada put this in the Krishna book also. The manifestations among moving and non-moving creatures. Ubhaya-liṅgam. Ubhaya means both. So manifestations of the Lord in moving and non-moving manifestations. Some other acharyas says ubhaya-liṅgam means Krishna and his devotees. Some other says Krishna as Swayam Bhagavan and his Archavatara, the deity manifestation. Like that. So the purpose of head is to bow down to the Lord and his manifestations. And the purpose of eyes is tadeva yat paśyati taddi cakṣuḥ, is seeing the form of the Lord. And sometimes why particular verse is not commented is that similar verse is commented upon somewhere else. In the second canto, already a similar verses came. Second canto, 3rd chapter, 20th to 24 verses. This verse and the previous verse, same things are mentioned. The actual limbs are those which regularly honor the water that has bathed the Lord's feet or those of his devotees. Pādodakaṁ, aṅgāni viṣṇor, atha taj-janānāṁ, pādodakaṁ, yāni bhajanti nityam. What is the pādodakam? Means the water that is washed Krishna's feet, Ganga. Ganga water is always Charanamrit, Yamuna water. And also Shalagrama, water worship used to worship Shalagrama Shila. And also Abhishekam water. And water, we know, any offering to Krishna, that is all pādodakam. So the purpose of the body, actual limbs, are to accept the water that bathed Lord. We can take, we can touch, we can drink, we can put on head, like that. And Ganga we take bath also. It's like that all the limbs, or the purpose of them is associated with the water washed, bathed the Lord's lotus feet. So Parikshit Maharaj, after asking his question, he's telling that I want to hear more about Krishna, I want to hear more of Krishna. In the previous chapter was Balarama's pilgrimage. That's why when Sudama came to Dwaraka, Balarama was not there. He was on pilgrimage. I heard so much now about Balarama, again I want to hear about Krishna. You please say. And then this question is also there. How can anyone tolerate the urge for sense gratification and still be a great devotee? When we get everything, at least basic things, we can chant, we can be peaceful. One devotee told me one time that how to be in Sattva-guna. He said that when there is a constant flow of money coming, then only Prabhu we can be in Sattva-guna. What if when there is no constant flow of money, when there is no this thing, can devotees be in Krishna conscious? This is the example through Sudama. Krishna wanted to teach all of us. And how the senses should be engaged is told here. how the senses should not be engaged is also told in Bhagavatam, and how a great devotees engage their senses is also told in the story of Maharaj Ambarish, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. It is told. Actually, Sudama is as great devotee as Ambarish Maharaj. Because only situation is that Ambarish Maharaj had everything and Sudama had nothing. But their situation is same in terms of their devotional service. Whether finally he became Kubera, the Kuchela became Kubera. Because when he went back, in fact he didn't ask anything Krishna. Krishna only took that, let me take what you bring. He took one morsel of shepherd rice, second morsel he was taking, then Rukmini asked, stop. Yeah. Acharya says that now itself you have given all the opulences to him. What more you want to give to him? But Sudama didn't know all that. He went. Finally, when he went, he couldn't recognize his place, his house, and his wife. Now, previously she was dressed like poor, torn clothes. And then when she went back, she is gorgeous dress with so many ornaments. And so many servants are serving her. But Sudama still was not attached to anything. Virakta indriyartheshu prashantatma jitendriyaha. He has no attachment to the sense objects. He is peaceful. Jitendriya, he conquered the senses. He didn't say, all these years I did devotional service. Now because of the blessings of Rukmini and Dwarakadish, now I got so much money, let me enjoy. He didn't think like that. But he accepted because it's Krishna gave, but he didn't stay longer. Yeah. He went back home, back to Godhead. Like Prithu Maharaj's wife Archi, his wife also attained the same destinations as quoted by some of the previous acharyas. I'll stop here. If anyone has any questions, comments, criticism, you are welcome. Hare Krishna.
So this important Bhagavatam speaking, Narada Muni started questioning Lord Brahma as to, because Krishna personally revealed the Srimad Bhagavatam to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma is revealing to Narada Muni, who revealed it to Vyasa, it was an incarnation of the Lord, and Kiryan Guru Parampara. But in the previous life, Narada was the son of a maid servant, and due to his good fortune of serving the Mahabhagavata, he had the good fortune to become Narada Muni. So is there something, so every creation, every time the creation happens, it has to go through the same system of Brahma being born from the lotus, and Krishna revealing the Vedas, and so the Parikshit Maharaj, there's a nityam lila, it's all nityam lila happening like that on a regular basis. Maybe you speak about Guru Parampara.
Thank you, Prabhu. I'll try to answer briefly, though this subject matter is not connected to the discussion we had today. So whether the Nitya Leela of Krishna exactly happens same way every time? Definitely not. We have so many examples. For example, when Srila Prabhupada heard or visited Ahobila Kshetra, there it was told that the pastime of Hiranyakashipu's killing Hiranyakashipu is performed there. But Srila Prabhupada also told in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that this pastime actually happened in heavenly planets because Hiranyakashipu occupied even Indra's palace, kingdom Amaravati. So how can the same pastime happen in two different places? Srila Prabhupada said, it is kalpa bedha. It happened in different kalpas. We also see different Panchavatis in India, one near Nasik, one near Bhadrachalam, where like Lord Ram's pastimes happened. So there is kalpa bedha, and also some of the stories are happened in different Brahmandas. There is a Brahmanda bedha. And some pastimes happen in every Manvantara, but they have also Manvantara Bheda we see in different distinct. So it is not same, because Krishna is dynamic, Krishna's pastimes are dynamic. We cannot tell every time exactly the same thing, same way happens or not. Regarding this, Lord Shiva says something. Aham vedmi, sukho vetti, vyaso vetti na vettiva. He says, I know. Shukadeva Goswami knows. Vyasadeva may know or may not know about Krishna's pastimes. What is this? He is the author. He is Krishna himself. In his full maturity, he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. How dare Lord Shiva to tell that Krishna himself may know or may not know, but I know and Shukadeva Goswami knows. Because Krishna's pastimes are dynamic. Sometimes Krishna, he will not know what he is going to do next. Aham vedmi sukho vetti vyaso vetti na vettiva. So Krishna's pastimes are very, very dynamic. So they change, and we see the place is changing sometimes. We see some details are changing sometimes. Many times people ask, only Valmiki Ramayana is bona fide, the other Ramayanas like Brahmanda Ramayana are not bona fide. How can we say that? Because Brahmanda Purana is also, Purana there also, Ramayana mentioned, and many other scriptures are Ramayana mentioned. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana is mentioned, some details are different here and there. Then these Ramayanas are happening in different yugas. So different manvantaras, different kalpas, different brahmandas. Nitya Leela goes, but it is different. No one can predict that exactly this is what is going to happen next. I hope I answered this question. Yes. Anyone else? Yeah, just give to the Prabhu. You are all the time with me. Hare Krishna.
Sudama, he was at the highest devotional service. So, but I am not understanding the meaning of service. So, if we are reading Narad Bhakti Sutra, Narad is translating Bhakti as Bhakti Prema. So, service. For example, gopis are great bhaktas. They used to love Krishna, but they never ever used to consider Krishna as their master. At times, Krishna was serving. So, Srila Prabhupada, I have read entire, not entire. I am having the entire set of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. No one has done word to word. Nowhere else I have seen word to word translation of my goodness, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. But I am not able to understand this service.
What is the question is, what is service?
Service, yes.
Many people chose to translate bhakti as devotion, sentiment for God. Bhakti, a feeling. Srila Prabhupada is the first one and only one. Of course, we all follow Srila Prabhupada's example, so we say devotional service. He is the first one to say bhakti is devotional service. It's not just devotion, it is devotional service. Because devotion means we love Krishna. But Prabhupada said that to love someone means to do service for them. We love Krishna and we do service. We can see that in every nook and corner of this Brajabhumi, that attitude of gratitude, that attitude of service. And yes, Narada Muni considered different definitions for bhakti in Narada Bhakti Sutra. He gave up all of them. Finally, he said, how to do bhakti, devotional service? He said, yatha vrajagopikanam. Just like how the Vrajagopis do, that is bhakti. Just what they were doing. This is not the opinion of Narada Muni only. This is opinion of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is a book called Chaitanya Manjusha. It is a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam by Srinath Chakravarti Thakur. In that introduction, he gives one verse. Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayaha taddhama vrindavanam ramya idupasana vrajavadhu vargena ya kalpita Srimad-bhagavatam pramanamamalam prema pumartho maha Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhor matamidam tatradarana paraha. How to do the worship? Who is to be worshipped? Is that Nandana Krishna. Not all the avatars. Not even Dwaraka Krishna. Not even neighborhood Mathura Krishna. But that Vrindavan Krishna. Vrajesha Tanaya Nandana, the darling of Vrindavana. In his town, in his village Vrindavana, Taddhama Vrindavanam, how to worship? Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadu Vargena Ya Kalpita. That Upasana service, worship by who? Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadus. The damsels of Vrindavana, the gopis of Vrindavana, whatever they have done, that is devotional service. Nothing else. So there is no other answer. What they have done, that thing. Hare Krishna. We will stop here. Anyone else has any other thing to share? Once again, please forgive me if I spoke anything beyond my realization. I'm very grateful to all of you. Very grateful to be in Vrindavan. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna.